This afternoon then, politicians will decide in that building over there whether to get vindictive against our veterans again. That's right, vindictive. Phil says it how it is. It's got nothing to do with politics, it's got to do with being vindictive, all right? Basically, what they want to do is drag up all the stuff from the past, reinvestigate it again, and drag people in across the coals who basically should have been retiring by now. In the meantime, they're going to hand out more letters of comfort to people on the opposite side, and you know where they're going, don't you? So we're going to see what people are going to say about it this afternoon. I think there's a lot of veterans coming. We've got people from over the water, we've got veterans ministers, we've got all sorts of people going to be in this afternoon. We're going to cut around and get amongst them, hopefully get a couple of politicians. I've even heard there's an IRA man here this afternoon, so love to get him, wouldn't it? It would be fun, wouldn't it? So we're going to do that. We're going to do it for you, all right? Okay, so let's have a butcher's. Let's see what they're telling the press. This is what the veterans are telling the press. Stop two-tier justice against our Northern Ireland veterans. It's on a little flyer. I'll post the flyer in the post somewhere. Why are veterans here today? To support the petition. Protect Northern Ireland veterans from prosecution, which is being debated today in Westminster Hall. Right, that's what's going on behind us. Veterans have been betrayed, is what they're saying. SAS veterans face murder charges after a judge ruled their 1992 neutralising of 4 IRS terrorists attacking a police station with a heavy machine gun as not justified, all right? We know the story, don't we? We've seen it, Lock All. The game of Kaplunk. You know, that's right, the truck with all the... Yeah, that's the one, Lock All. They're going to try and drag that up again. It's going to be the focus of a lot of talk there. Because basically, if they manage to drag people across the coals again for that, it opens up a Pandora's box of dragging everybody in and questioning everyone again and putting everybody under the spotlight. And don't forget, a lot of these people are older members of the community now. When you look at what it did to Dennis Hutchins, it was a complete mess. Yet this government right now are trying to open up a whole plethora of re-investigations, all right? For me, that's wrong. So we're walking down towards the cenotaph now. The format for this afternoon is there's supposed to be some people on foot coming across the bridge, okay? And then in the pincer movement, we're going to get some bikes and they're going to come up here and they're all going to meet in the middle and everybody's going to have a powwow and some people will go into Parliament to give us some support there. The worry being that the Labour government have already hijacked and filled all the public gallery seats with people of their own. So we'll see how it goes, won't we? Obviously, I'm here with Matt Hellyer. No introduction needed. Matt, the significance of that plaque behind us, it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called freedom, mate. That's what everyone died for. Freedom of speech. This wonderful country. You know, that's what it's all about. Supporting our veterans, giving them the respect that they deserve, of course, mate. And you know what's going on in Parliament. This debate today is it's a bit shocking, really, because I thought Mr. Starmer would have input an alternative before removing the only thing that supports our veterans and supports them from prosecution. So yeah.
You more than anybody know the impact of this sort of investigation on the people that are still serving and still being asked to go out and do extremely dangerous jobs in extremely dangerous places.
Yeah, it's having a massive effect on all our servicemen and women. You know, they're literally recruitment retention, as we know, is the worst it's ever been at the moment. This is because the direct effect of the cases that are going on. It's ruining families, it's ruining lives, and what for? Because they served the Queen, the King, and country, and they protecting the realm and the public citizens of Great Britain. And now they're getting persecuted at every angle, mate. It's terrible.
And what is even more of a snub for me is the fact that they handed out letters of consolation and letters of comfort to the people who were obviously on the other side and still to this day don't agree or like our values and standards.
Oh, you're right. I mean, if you see what the debate and the bill is all about, they went round and asked the victims of the Troubles being the Republican families of the Republican terrorists that killed our servicemen and women. At not one point have they gone round and asked the families of the soldiers, you know, the thousands of soldiers and civilians that have died. It's all about the Republican terrorists, which is wrong. You know, it should be a unilateral agreement. You know, let's have an amnesty for everyone. You know, there was troubles, people have got different causes. We need to respect that. You need to respect the servicemen, women and all the civilians that have died, you know, giving their support to this wonderful country.
Matt, we'll no doubt see you not just here but supporting our troops as ever around the various bazaars. But it's great to speak to you, and we'll catch you again this afternoon somewhere. All right. So this is where the bikes are going to form up, and they're going to go that way, down into the square. And we're here early because we want to have a look, see who's doing what.
Yes,
give me a 2-second interview. There you go. Look, here we go. Tell the people at home who you are.
I'm a veteran, Army.
Yeah, name.
Denise.
Come on, Denise, get it out there.
Denise
Spit it
Walker.
out. Who was you with? How long was you
Army
in?
catering corps for 15 years.
Army catering corps. There you go. Hardest corps in the army department, apparently. Oh, I didn't say that though. All right.
We looked after
Leave
you
me
boys.
alone. Leave me alone.
We looked after you boys, so don't go there.
Beautiful. All right, listen, you're here today to support the troops again.
Again.
Right, time spent out on the streets,
No.
pounding them
Yeah.
for the lads
I will
and the lasses.
Put it this way, until it stops, I won't stop.
Beautiful.
I'll be here 24/7.
Beautiful. Love you to death. Well, look, we'll see you during the march anyway, all right?
Damn straight, I'll be there.
Superb. All right. Here they are, rolling thunder. There we go, look. Okay, I'm here with Stuart Anderson. He's an MP, and hopefully he'll be getting his say within the debate today. Stuart, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. Gutted that we're here because this was put in place. Our veterans should be protected, and I'm actually demanding the government stop their action and protect our veterans. I did 18 months in Belfast. I was a teenager, but our blokes who've given, and men and women who've given everything, and now the government are dragging them through courts. I'm not happy about it, and I'm here to stand up for veterans.
So you are actually an MP who served, who is going to put his money where his mouth is and stick his neck on the line and speak up for the troops today.
Yeah, 100%. I did it all through the last Parliament. I sat on the Bill Committee through this, took it through. I was very vocal, and I will continue to do this. Yeah, because you're bringing that service. I'm going to try and explain today, for those that don't understand, what it's actually like serving on an operational tour, and actually how hard it is for people. Then for the rest of their life, think they're going to be dragged through the courts. It's unacceptable.
I think there's a massive disparity in between a lawyer who sits in a high-backed, comfy chair, polishing the crack out of his arse, you know, making a decision based on a soldier who's working on a yellow card in his pocket with a split decision which could determine whether he goes home or not. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, 100%. So I was a young rifleman. I saw firsthand, if someone's going to throw a rock, a grenade, a petrol bomb, you have that 1 second to decide if you and your friends live and die.
There will be a nationalist element in there today who will be pushing to try and take this further. Do you think that does anything for peace whatsoever on either side of it?
Well, we need to see peace. We don't need to go back to where we have been, because it was absolute a terrible time, but we need to protect those people who 20, 30, 40 years ago have done everything. And my dad was one of the first SAS soldiers to go in the 70s. So this has been going on for decades, and they need to be protected.
Veterans Minister Al Khan's, how much of a clout does he actually have?
So I do question how much clout ministers will have on this. Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, can make a decision in a split second, and he can decide to protect veterans or not, and that's where he should be doing it. It took a long time to get that through in the last Parliament, and it was definitely too late. I was glad to be involved, but this decision must come from the top, and they must be protected.
And what's your gut feeling on this? Do you think it will go our way, or do you think it will just sort of like peter out, or do you think it will actually go against us?
Today we'll make some noise, but it won't change legislation. But hopefully the strength of feeling will be heard. But at the moment, the decisions they're making are lawyers' decisions. They're not people who love this country. And I love this country, as you do. People have stood up for it. But at the moment, they make decisions as lawyers do, not as soldiers.
Probably the first MP I've ever heard making any sense whatsoever. I hope he can get his point across to Keir Starmer. Keir, if you're listening, this man needs a promotion.
I'm with the Conservatives, so I'm in the opposite. So
Doesn't matter. Yeah, promoting past your lot. So for serving soldiers today, what goes on there is going to be really key as to how they can conduct themselves in future operations. Because it's very difficult to go out with a sense of duty and purpose when you know that when you get home, you might well get called across the coals, you might well get in trouble, and you may well get prosecuted for doing your job. And certainly, having spoken to a few of the serving lads now, there is a feeling that they want to question things before they go anywhere now. Yeah. So who are you with today, buddy?
So I've just come down here. I normally cover any protest that's going on.
Okay.
I was told there was meant to be a protest this afternoon.
Yeah.
Which was to do with the Free Palestine Action Group.
Oh right, yeah. No, this is definitely ain't the Free Palestine Action Group, mate. No,
so I came
no.
Down, but I normally wear this no matter what day I'm down.
Okay. Is there a reason for the garb?
Only because of all the cameras. That's
okay.
All. Because you end up.
But so you don't want to be seen.
I just showed him my face.
Yeah, no. I sort of fair play. No, I get that. It's just sort of like, I don't know. Is it the image thing? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I sort of like for me.
Paranoid, self-image. I'm very, very paranoid. You know?
So what? So the march today is about soldiers who are being historically chased, and there's allegations and all sorts of stuff. And there's a bill in Parliament which, if it's overturned, will open up a can of worms that's already been opened up and put to bed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So soldiers could technically face being charged for stuff that happened years ago, even though they've already been cleared. What do you think about that?
Well, to be honest with you, I think if they're going to clear one, they should clear everyone.
Absolutely.
And, because, listen, the troubles will never stop if it's kept going. And it's never going to stop. So I think, to move forward, I think everyone needs to be cleared of anything. As far as I'm concerned, if there's wrong on both sides, it's wrong on both sides. Whether people agree or don't agree, but I'm saying certain people shouldn't be released while others are still facing prosecution.
So, actually, a very balanced opinion. I really appreciate it. Where are you from yourself, mate?
I was born in the south, but I've lived over here all my life. My missus is English. My kids are half English, half Irish. And, yeah,
Okay, well, what's your name?
Tony.
Tony, pleased to meet you, Tony.
Nice to meet you.
And thanks for your time for taking the talk to us.
Yeah, no worries. And like I said, it's not illegal. I just always, because you get so many streamers around here, and I don't want to be caught on the videos left, right, and centre.
Okay.
In case they catch me with a bad smile.
Your prerogative, mate.
Yeah.
Your prerogative until the laws change, my friend.
Worries.
All right, cheers. Right, so representing us from across the water today,
David Johnson. I'm the Veterans Commissioner for Northern Ireland and next Royal Irish Reserve Officer.
Okay, and your role in today's activities over there is?
Yeah, well, the three commissioners, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland,
Yep.
we are giving our support to this campaign to bring fairness and justice to how the veterans are being treated from Up Banner.
Okay.
So we have come down today to show that support, and it's just so important that this nettle is grasped. For far too long, this has been hanging over veterans. You go back to 1998, the terrorists were let out of jail, given comfort letters, and yet somehow now, 25, 30 years later, our soldiers are worried about getting a knock at the door and potentially being dragged back into courts for prosecution. Think of Dennis Hutchings, an 80-year-old man dies in a hotel room, 10 years of vexatious legal proceedings. That cannot be allowed to happen. Our veterans deserve more respect and should be honoured for their service.
And for serving soldiers now, it's sending out a horrendous message in a period of time when we're likely to go to war, and the same government are going to go, where are you lads? Come and fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've certainly heard stories and talked to some special forces guys, and I think the comment's been made is, do they need to bring their lawyer in operations with them? Because literally,
would they go?
Well, will they go is a bigger question. And I think you raise a really important point, Phil, is that we look at the sort of the geopolitical situation across Europe, particularly in Ukraine and Russia and everything that goes with that, and we may need to be having an increase in our military capability. We may need to be dipping into our veterans who 5 years after service can be called up when needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yet, if they're in the back of their mind wondering if 30, 40, 50 years later, they're going to be hauled through courts and asked to remember exactly what happened in minute detail
In a split
40
decision
years
that they
ago.
made
Yeah,
whilst adhering to the rules that were put on a card given to you by them.
By then. And I think what's really important and what gets missed in all of this is that fundamentally, to have a civilian judge or justice try and get in the mind of a soldier, to try and second guess their thought process as they face armed, ruthless terrorists.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just not possible.
No,
the
of
only
course not.
people that should be assessing the operations that are under scrutiny, like a Loughgall, like a Coke, like a Clonot, should be military people who at least understand the challenges, the complexity, the difficulties that our soldiers face.
We
in that
do have a
second.
veterans minister now in Al Khan's who's seen a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So surely he must be able to lean on a few people and say, hang on a minute, this is how it is.
Well, certainly the three commissioners, we have certainly been lobbying the Minister for Veterans
Medals
and
on
People.
your chest, so you've seen a little bit as well.
We've
do you
been,
know what I mean?
did a tour of Iraq in 2004,
Yeah.
and certainly there's been numerous discussions with Al Carnes.
Yeah.
He gets it. I think he gets it in a way that most in government don't, because as you say, he's seen it, and we're certainly hoping that Al is able to defend and explain why this is angering veterans so much, and just the fundamental unfairness that so many years on, veterans are being scrutinised in this way. So, we know he has been lobbying hard, and we hope that he's listened to, because he certainly understands what veterans are going through.
Listen, I'd love to continue this conversation. I think we need to know what goes on in there before we go any further with this.
Yeah.
I'd love to get the fallout. I'd love it if you'd come on one of our podcasts one time, or we'll come over and do a podcast with you, because I think, we need to keep on this. We need to keep our fingers on the pulse.
No, it's so important that the message gets out, and that's why today has been so important. Veterans from all over the United Kingdom, all here standing to say, well, we just want fairness. We're not asking for special treatment. We want fairness. We want recognised for our service, and we're not going to be demonised by political representatives that have a narrative.
Yeah.
There was 1,400 odd British soldiers or military personnel lost their life in Northern Ireland. That's more than Iraq and Afghanistan put together.
Yeah.
And yet somehow we're allowing a narrative to change. So enough's enough. I think the veterans have mobilised to say we are not going to stand for this. We want to make sure we're treated fairly.
Thanks very much for your time.
No problem. I appreciate that.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.